Good afternoon and welcome to my messy shed. This time I've got this cabinet and she's not huge but she's very solid, and I'm going to be completely transforming this for a client of mine. So I just want to show you, she's very solid. She's not vintage. She is a modern piece. She's been built to look a little bit old, a little bit like an antique, but she's actually not. But she's in really, really good condition. There's going to be minimal repairs. The only repair required is a little bit chipped out there. The only other thing that I really need to do is tackle this really glossy surface. So see how it's super, super glossy. But I did have a go already on the bottom here, and it came off really, really easy just with some 120 in my sander. So I'm not going to bother scraping it off. I'm going to sand it all off, and so that's going to take me probably a good part of the rest of today, and then we'll consider the priming and the colours. So just bear with me and I'll show you what the plan's going to be. So welcome back. This is the cabinet. It's dark, it's shiny, it's really solid. But we have to get rid of that glossy surface, and we're going to make her really super pretty. And what we're going to do is we're going to use Mint by Michelle's Ballet Flats. It's her only light pink, but I love this pink. It's not bright in your face. It's a lovely muted soft pink. And we're going to be applying some pretty transfers, as well as some gold stenciling, but I haven't decided what stencil I'm going to use and where I'm going to use it yet. What I'll do is when I'm up to that stage, I will decide the placement of these transfers. I want to try and make a sort of like a climbing rose effect and have some across the drawers at the bottom. Yeah, so first things first, I do have to, and I'm going to take the door off for this so I can get all this glossy surface off, and then I'll prime her all over. So I can tell that the timber underneath isn't dark, so I'm not really afraid of anything bleeding through, but the primer really helps to prepare the surface. It makes a beautiful surface for your paint to grip to, and you get a lovely smooth finish. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start disassembling her and sanding. So I'm using my Festool 150 ETS for this one, with just some 120 sandpaper. And I'm just going to show you how easy the gloss is coming off. There's actually some really nice veneer under there. So if there's anyone out there who likes to restore furniture, you may not want to watch this. But my customer wants it pink, so it's going to be pink. I'm also going to need a scraper, and it's got a carbide blade on it. Sorry, it's a little bit grubby, but it is a new blade. To get into this detail here, I wasn't going to worry about it, but it's coming off really easy. And I'm just doing it gently so I don't make any gouges. It's see how it's coming off super easy. So I'll scrape all this off, and then I'll give it a bit of a hand sand with some 240. So I'll have a lovely surface to play with when it's done. Nice. Good morning, George. Hey, what are you up to? Checking out my work. Well, I've been away for a couple of days, but before I left, I finished off the all the priming. So I gave it a couple of coats of primer, and over that surface that I'd prepared, it has gone on so nicely. Look how smooth that is. So there's the door, there's the shelf, and now what I thought, because we're going to put Mint by Michelle's Ballet Flats Pink, we're going to do that on the outside, but I thought we would just pop a bit of white on the inside, which white isn't generally my favourite colour, but because it was a little dark cabinet, having a really light colour on the inside would just make everything that's on the inside of the cabinet show. So if you're using it as a display cabinet, it's good to have it very pale colour inside. So we've got a couple of coats of the primer in there, so the white should go on no problem. And we haven't had any bleeding, which is fabulous. So I'm just going to use a roller. These fluffy ones are not good for stenciling, but they're great for getting into the corners when you're rolling, because it actually spreads out the paint. So I'm not going to bore you with me showing you how to roll a paint inside a cabinet. So I'm just going to go ahead and give the inside and the shelf 2 coats of the white, and then we'll be ready to pop the pink on. What do you reckon, George? Yeah? Is that a good idea? Okay, I've done the light colour inside, and I ended up using Mint by Michelle's woolen jumper because it's just a little bit softer, a little bit warmer. I just found the white too stark. It still looks like a nice white, but it's just that little bit off. Yeah, more like an antique white. So now we're going to start with the pink. I've got a new pot of Ballet Flats, and what I need to do first is give it a good stir. I just want to show you how thick and creamy this stuff is. It's like hand lotion. I feel like I want to rub it all over my body. So I'm going to pour some into my tray. Just a little bit. We'll just get rid of those drips. And you'll see how it covers super well, but I will give a couple of coats. I just load up my roller. And just look how it just goes on so lovely. I mean, I could do this with a brush and you would get a lovely flawless finish, but I just find the roller quicker. This paint has self-leveling properties, so it will, flatten. Oh, we've got a bit of a hair there. It will flatten, so you won't get any brush strokes. So just look at that coverage already. Can you see? Not a good angle. All right. So I'm going to go all around here. And I'll go all over the piece and the door. I'll give it a couple of coats. And then we need to let it sit, maybe even till tomorrow before I start putting... Oh no, I could do the stenciling first. I'll do the stenciling. But it's a good idea to let the paint maybe dry for a day before you do the transfers. So we'll do a couple of layers of the pink. Then we can consider what stencil I want to use. I'm going to put a stencil on the sides and on the drawer. And I'm probably going to do that in a bit of gold paint. And then we'll let it dry. I've got another bit of hair in there. That's the beauty of having a dog hanging around in the shed with you. There we go. And then she'll be ready for the transfers. Just watch how nicely this goes on with the brush. And I've only got, oh, where's my brush? Slightest bit there. Oh, it's just amazing coverage. It's not going to focus. Anyway, I'm going to do some with a brush and then I'll use a roller on the sides and on the top. Yep. Okay, she's coming along nicely. I've got all the ballet flats on. It only needed 2 coats and I have used a combination of a roller, a small flat brush and a little art brush so I can get into these little bits here. And I sort of just gave that a really light sand with some 400 because it was a bit gritty from the roller. And there was a couple of hairs in there, but light sanding got that out. So now what I'm going to do is do some stenciling in gold paint on the sides and maybe on the drawer. I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I'm going to draw it. So basically what I want to put the stencil underneath where I'm putting the transfer. So it's a floral transfer, so I've decided to use this stencil. I've used this stencil quite a lot and it's very attractive when it's on. So I think in gold will be it'll be nice and subtle. Can you hear my dogs barking? Shush, George! George, shush! George! It'll be nice and subtle under the transfers. Right. What? 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 You're protecting me from the boogeyman? Hey? So the stencil is taped in place. This one is a repeat pattern, so what I'll do is I'll do top, I'll add that, and then I have to go back and do a bit of a strip down the side. So I am going to put this all the way down the side here. And the gold paint, you can use gold gilding wax, I suppose. The gold paint I'm using is a Dixie Belle Gold Digger. So that's the only gold I've got at the moment, but it's a really nice colour. It's a warm gold. So I just wanted to show you, if you're new to stenciling, I just want to show you what you need. Very important. You can use a roller, a foam roller. I actually prefer to, where's my scissors? My stipple brush has got some hairs that need to be trimmed. I prefer to stipple. I get a nice crisp line just by stippling. And if you didn't know, this is a stipple brush. It's got tight, short bristles, flat on top. And what you do is literally just put on a little bit on the tip, and then you wipe it all off again. Because we start with a little bit of colour and we can build it up. Oops. Might have to get another brush. Faulty brush. Yep, you're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to have to go get another brush. All right. 2 ticks. Okay, take 2. I've got a little bit on my new brush, and I'm just using a dabbing motion with not too much paint on my brush. And you can, when it's dry, that layer's dry, you can come back over and make it a bit more intense colour. I'll just, see, that's looking nice. I only want to settle, I don't know, I'll have to do a close-up when I take this off, but it's not going to be, it's going to complement the transfer. It's not going to be the highlight of the piece, of the design. So I'm just going to put this all over. I mean, you could use a roller. I'm just not that confident with foam rollers when I'm doing stenciling. I like to do it like this. So it does take a bit of time. So when you're doing large areas like this, you know, I stick on a podcast, put on a Netflix movie or whatever, and just enjoy the process. So I'm going to get this all done and then join it up, and then I'll probably come back tomorrow to start planning the transfer. Okay, I've done that whole piece. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Oh, it's so nice. See? It's just very subtle. The light picks it up. And I think all down the side it's just going to be really, really lovely. So I've finished one side, and isn't this stencil just delightful? It looks like a piece of wallpaper with a bit of gold around the top and the stencil coming over it. I think she's going to be really beautiful. Nice. So now for the other side. I may have gone overboard with the stencil, but I don't think it looks too bad. I ended up going down both sides, over the top, and then I had done the draw and it just looked a bit silly with only the draw done, so I ended up putting the stencil all over there. Yep, okay, stencil on steroids. Right, so now what I want to do is put some gold foil on, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to apply the gold foil to, these are the original handles, which are nice, The copper actually doesn't look too bad with the pink, but we want gold highlights. So what I'm going to do, I've given these a clean. That's for the drawer, and this one's for the door. I've given them a clean, and then I'm going to show you how I apply the leafing size, and then we'll leave it, let it just sit for a bit, and then we'll apply some gold leaf, and then I'm going to put that all around the base. I might put it around the door, this door frame, and around that top edge up there. Okay, so we'll just get ourselves started with the handles, and we'll take it from there. So in regard to the leafing size, this is one available from most art stores. I do actually prefer the Annie Sloan one. It comes in a larger container, and I like the consistency of it. So it is very important to put this on and wait for it to go tacky. It normally goes on a little bit cloudy, and then once it's tacky, it'll go translucent. So you see how it's, oh God, I think this brush is a bit big. I might get a smaller brush. Hang on. I'll just use that. Because you only need to put a light coat on. But just make sure you put it everywhere. See how it's looking white. Probably got a bit much there, but I'm just wanting it to go all down the sides. And we'll just put that there. So you don't need much. I'll probably put a little bit much on here. Thing is getting it around there. And I've got to delete it first. There's a lot of detail in this brush, this handle, so I'm trying to squish the size into all the details so my foil will stick to it all. I think that'll be good. Alright, now it will dry and wreck your brush, so I'm just going to go and give that a rinse straight away, but I think I'm going to need a smaller brush for that. So while the sizing was drying on the handles, or not drying, sort of becoming sticky, I've taped up all around where I'm going to put the other size and foil. So now, if I just spin you around, actually I'll just go like this for the moment. Can you see how it's not white and milky anymore? And they are like really, it's really tacky. And they stay tacky for a long time. So yeah, so like I said, it stays tacky for a long time. So don't feel panicky that you have to get this done really quickly. So you can take your time. And these are the gold foil sheets that I get. And I do get them from Amazon because I go through a lot of it and it's cheaper that way. And I actually really like this stuff because it comes with paper on two sides on each sheet. Now the sheets are only 10 by 10, but I find they're quite easy to work with. And I buy like 200 at a time. I'll put the link in the description And then, so we don't waste, I usually cut them in half. Cut a couple in half. Now this does make a real big mess, and I end up with gold foil coming out my ears and up my nose and all sorts of things. So we'll start with the little drop handle. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And I try not to touch the gold foil with my fingers because it breaks, but because there's got two papers on it, one on either side of it, you can kind of use it to, and as soon as it touches the size, it will stick. So I'm just gently using a brush to push it into all the crevices. Like that. What a difference that makes already. Now we get, I need another little bit for the bottom. That didn't. Can you see what I'm doing? Just sort of dabbing it in and then using the brush to get rid of the excess there. And then I need to put it right around. And if there's some bits that you've missed with the size, you can go back. See, I've missed a bit with the size, like on the top, and you will see that because the handle sit like that. So I'll just get all that off. Get all the, and it's like, so it's not tacky at all now. But I did miss a bit there. A little bit on the sides. But otherwise, doesn't that look lovely? And I will sell them. And I'll show you. See, it's super, super tacky. I'll do the underneath bit first. I'll use up this bit that I cut up just now. And I should come in a little bit closer, shouldn't I? So you can see. You see that? Is that ready? That's a half bit. I'll put that there. It's 20 flakes. That's fine. You can use them to catch up. You can use them to catch up bits. In this. So that. Okay. Okay. Half waste. I'm going to do it here. I'm going to touch it. Sometimes I get ready to realize that detail there. Yeah. So I'll put the other side of the handle. Use that bit. Okay, just a little bit I missed for the size. Otherwise it looks good. I'm just going to brush. And just give it a good, get rid of all those flecks. That's good. There's just a couple of spots I missed with the size in there. Otherwise that looks lovely, doesn't it? What a difference. And it's not coming off my hand, it's all stuck on there now. Okay, I'm so going to show you the foiling around the door now. Okay. Start here. Now I've cut a few of these in half. What are you doing, George? Now it just does get messy. Messy, messy, messy. And I'm going to try and start here. Can you see what I'm doing? And dab it into place. Don't worry if you get any cracks in it, because we can come back to that. And I also find gilding wax fixes the cracks too. Ta-da! Easy as that. I'm going to come zoom in a bit more. And I like to overlap them slightly. Oh, it's sticking to me. It's good to pick things up with your brush. I'm gently just going around. Like that. See? I'll show you one more and then I'll just, because it is a bit of a slow process. I don't want to bore you again. There we go. See, I'm trying not to touch that. See, I've got a bit of a crack there, so I'm going to pick up that bit and put it there where I missed a bit. Yeah. Good. Let's come in with this other brush and get rid of some of that dust. And I'll just bring you in so you can see how that's looking so far. See? Oh, finger. So when I remove the tape, so it's gone on there nicely. And I don't know, people say that they don't like to foil because they can see the joins, but with this stuff I can never see the joins. So it's a bit untidy at the moment, but you get the gist of it. So I'm going to go right around there and then across there around the top and then around the base. But I haven't put the size on here yet because of all the falling stuff. So I'll do that bit last. Okay. Now I'm going to keep the tape on the inside but to protect the window from the sealer. But I just want to show you. Ooh. Are we getting a nice crisp line there? Nice crisp line. Yep. That's going to be lovely. So I like to take the tape off whenever I can, because the longer you leave it there, the more likely it will remove your paint. Oh, that's lovely. See how nice that's going to be. Nice. So I'll remove all these and then I'll put the foil up the top there. So I think she's looking lovely. Really lovely. We've got all the gold on, but see how there's like flecks everywhere, and I've got this huge mess and it's all over everywhere. This is why you seal last. You do not do any sealing until the end, because this will just get all stuck in. Whether you use top coat or wax, it will just get stuck in it. So what I need to do now is get a blower vac and blow it all away. Right, now we can think about the transfer. So this is the transfer I'm going to add. I haven't used this one before, so I got two just in case. We've got a whole selection of single flowers, so we can make some arrangements. But I'm going to take them all out, cut them all up, and then use some tape to sort of put them in place. And when I'm happy with the arrangement, we'll start rubbing them on. So I'm just going to cut them all up first with my scissors. Pretty sure we're going to need both packs. really, okay, really nice. This part of the process can take a long time. So what I'm going to do is see how there's a lot of individual flowers, and then there's some stems. There are a couple of arrangements like this, and these ones are a little bit smaller, so they might look good on the draw. Anyway, there's a lot here, so we can build up a design. I want to have some on top, I want to have some coming down, and the reason why I gold leaf first, is because I want to put it over the top of the gold leaf. Around the tops and sort of down the sides and around, we don't have a lot of frontage here, but we can have some coming down from the top and then coming around to the side, same on that side, and I don't know, maybe it doesn't have to be all over the drawer, maybe it can just be coming down like this. But what I'll do is cut everything up and start having a play with their placement before I rub them on. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. So I've created a bit of a design here. Not sure if I'm gonna do that, but I've got some happening here. I can always add to it, going down the side. This is what I'm gonna start with and see how I've got each one has got its own little bit of tape. So what I have to figure out, which is the very bottom one, and apply the very bottom one and then add the layers. So what I normally do is I can flip them up and they can stay in place. Yeah, I may not give a running commentary, but I'll leave the camera running so you can see what I'm doing. So I think I'm going to put that one on first. Right, so what we can do, keep the tape there. And just do that. Get one of the tool. I'm going to give an awkward angle. Let it come off nicely. Sweet. So I will put this one on now. Very careful not to. Don't put the tape on your transfer. But also see here how I've got going over the drawer. So while I've got tape in place, I might do that. And then we can do one at a time. So I'll do the top one first. Oh no, whatever. Join there too, don't I? Oh dear. That's all I do. It can be fiddly, but if you have your tape in place, just let that sit back down there. And this one, what I can do for this one. Just join it up like that. Oh, I'll take off this one. And transfers love to stick to the mid-body shell paint. See, it's been sitting for a day or so now, and it's very dry now. I think I'll just tuck it in there. Get any air bubbles, I just pop them, and then go like that. Push that air out. And that's it. Good. pack we've got all these little pieces, and we can, you know, we can add some. See, that would look nice. We can keep adding to it. So we've got these little things. Oh, we've got these little buds. They're nice. See the little buds? Scissors. There's extra leaves if you want. So I've got my main flowers on. Then you can just go around and, you know, add some little buds in here and there. Looks nice. Even something like that. You know, all over the place. There's so many lovely things here. Already got one there. I'm gonna do this bit last because I'm not quite sure about that. But I think maybe that's tall enough now. You know, that's the beauty of these transfers. You can just create a picture of your own. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to have a bit of a play here because I think this one will maybe there, no? Maybe here. Yeah. Someone. Oh yeah, I could put this one over here actually. Someone's going to go over there. Just to kind of fill in that space. Tape. At the end, I will go around, take the drawers out and go around, make sure it's all stuck down properly. But I think this is going to be really, really pretty. Because remember the handles here. So I might put something else coming here and down here, I think. But just for now, I've got to move because my leg's going to sleep. So I'm just going to continue doing this, adding to this, and then I'll do the ones that are up here, up there. And then you can see when it's all done. But basically, the way you've seen me do it there with the layering and little bits of tape, so you can actually layer it to make it look like it's an arrangement. Nice. Okay. Well, I think I am finished with the transfers. I'll show you what I've done. I've pretty much used up the whole 2 packs and created a lovely mess in the process. They're the only ones that I've got left over. But if I show you, there's just layers upon layers, and I like what I've done here because the handle's going to go there. Layers and layers, and just adding little bits on. And the beauty of these transfers is you can't tell that you've added bits on here and there. And here we go up here and over there around the side, and we have a bit of an arrangement up. I am super happy. This one's so pretty. Super happy with everything here. So what I need to do now is seal the transfer, and I'm going to go over all the leafing with some gold gilding wax. What that does, it not only helps protect it, but it just tones it down from that intense brightness. And then I'll give it a spray with varnish all over. So this is what I'm going to use to seal the transfers. It's a water-based matte finish. It's really lovely, goes on really well. And this is what I'm going to use to spray everything afterwards. Of course, I've got to put some protection on the glass there. This is in satin, it dries really quickly, and it is oil-based. And yes, you can apply it over the top of your water base. All right, so that's the next step. Yes, I'll start the sealing now. Okay, so what I've got here is decor wax. It is called Sire Sarah. I'll just hold that up. Can you see that? It's the gold gilding wax, and it's on its last legs. I'm losing the cover. But this stuff in the tube actually lasts so long. And because you only need to use a really little bit of it at a time. And you don't have to put this onto your leaf, but my leafing is never perfect, even though it might look good from there. What this does, it not only dulls down that intense shine, but it also fixes up any cracks that you might have. So can you see how it's just dulling it slightly? I'm trying not to get the painted bits. So and if you want to get up close to something, don't forget that I might do that bit later because that's still a bit damp. But yeah, just get a bit of cardboard and put it up there. If you want to get close in there, but maybe I don't need to get right into there. Oop. Now if you make a bit of a boo-boo, right, so yeah, just gently I'm going to go, because I've put it up there, I really need to go all over it so it's got an even amount of shine all over. So it still looks very gold, just not blind your eyes gold. So that's what I'm going to do all over now, all over the gold bits. Okay, so this is the final stage. This is what I love to use to seal mineral paints and decoupage and transfers once they've had the water base brushed on. So that's all dry now, and all the gilding wax is on. See how it's still gold, but it's not like glow in the dark gold. So this If you check the brand, in Australia I get it at Bunnings. I don't know where else it is available. But it's non-yellowing. So if you're going to get one and spray it on paint, make sure it says non-yellowing. And I've never had an issue with this. Oh, can you hear that? We're having a storm. So we better finish this before it gets windy. All right, so I'm going to spray it on. Basically, I'm just going to like that. Okay, now I'm just going to pop the handle on. And that is really lovely, isn't it? Let me get you a bit closer. Isn't that lovely? I love how the flowers go like that. Beautiful. Now for the other one. So she's all finished and I'm loving her. She's just beautiful and very unique. So here we go. The transfers down this side. So the light is very bright in here, which I want to see how they come over. See how they come over. Nice. So there's none on this side, just the stenciling. There's the beautiful handle. There we go. Lovely. Oh, I'll show you inside as well. So she's very white in there. But, and I've also given it a coat of the spray varnish to protect those shelves. But, hello. Being so pale inside, whatever Andrea decides to put in there, well, you'll be able to see it. You can even pop in a little light if you want. So that is just divine. Now I'm going to get some photos. Okay. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully you've been able to learn a new technique. There was a lot going on here. As you can see, I am not a minimalist. Anyway, if you'd like to see more of my work, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I will put all the links in the description. Thank you so much for watching.